1. Powers of quiet people. Don't underestimate them. It's not because they can't speak, nor because they lack the ability to use words, but because they understand that some words are truly unnecessary. In life, no one can escape the storms. There are always people around us who seem to be living happy lives, but in reality, they aren't as happy as they appear. Some people's pain is silent, while others' pain is broadcast everywhere. The more mature a person becomes, the less they speak. Don't underestimate someone who is quiet. In a crowd, the quiet ones often hold more power. Lao Tzu said, "Those who know do not speak. Those who speak do not know." Everyone's understanding of the world is one-dimensional, and no one can see through the essence of all others. The reason personal opinions are emphasized as personal is because everyone has their unique thoughts, and their perspectives will differ based on their starting points. The more you talk, the more problems you can create. It's better to understand things yourself rather than trying to explain them repeatedly to others. Saying less and doing more is a form of self-protection, especially in middle age. You'll realize that the more mature someone is, the less they want to talk. It's not because they can't speak or lack skill with words, but because they understand that some words are truly unnecessary. Everyone wants to befriend good people. No one wants to be involved in bad things. This world does not support positivity and is more prone to envy and competition while being reluctant to accept others' negativity. Seeking benefits and avoiding harm is an unchangeable human nature. If someone constantly complains about their life and always shows how terrible their life is, they don't realize they are suggesting to others, "I am a failure." Positive people are more likely to receive blessings from others, whether they are at the peak or the lowest point of their lives. So, stay hopeful, and life will gradually become less confusing. Never underestimate a quiet person. They often have more experience than the average person. There's an old saying, "Still waters run deep. Wise people speak little." The shallower the water, the louder it flows. The deeper the water, the quieter it is. People who like to show off and boast will only bring trouble upon themselves. Quiet people often have better thoughts and are very observant. They are not naturally quiet but have become so through personal experiences. Having endured and overcome many difficulties, they gain inner calm, do not seek external approval, and are unconcerned with others' judgments. Staying silent not only makes you stronger but also wiser. The clearer someone sees life, the more they prefer solitude and less talking. Hence, those who have suffered a lot often remain silent and do not complain. It's not that they dislike speaking, but their life experiences have taught them that speaking much is useless. Life is like a journey with many emergencies along the way. No one can avoid unpleasant situations, but after experiencing them, a smart person can figure out the next steps. Only through enduring many hardships can a person grow and improve. Most people who live enviable lives have endured hardships that others cannot bear, in places that others cannot see. Behind the brilliant glow are scars of fatigue and pain. No success in this world comes overnight. Silence merely hides one's emotions. Quiet people are not without feelings, but past experiences have taught them the wisdom of silence. People who seem clumsy and less articulate are often more reliable. They have their own rules and follow them. Experienced people do not say much in response to others' naivety. If they want to help, they act directly, and if they don't, they won't harm others. Be wary of those who are always talkative. They have their own agendas or love to show off. A truly capable person is always humble. The more hardships they endure, the more they understand and become cautious and prudent in dealing with others. Those who constantly express and explain themselves in life, aside from seeking approval, might also be habitual liars. 2. Why should you keep your distance from quiet people? Quiet people often give off an air of reliability. They do their work meticulously and possess strong emotional control. So, why should you keep your distance from them? Psychologist Carl Jung categorized personalities into extroverts and introverts, corresponding to those in our lives who love to talk and express opinions in crowds and those who are quiet and reserved. It's hard to say which personality type is better. But based on my work and life experiences, if you're an average person who sees socializing and being talkative as essential, I advise you to keep your distance from the quiet ones. In reality, there are 2 reasons someone might be quiet. First, they might be young and inexperienced, feeling anxious and overwhelmed, not knowing what to say and fearing they might say something wrong. Second, they might be deep thinkers, intelligent, and only speak when necessary. They often listen silently to understand others' inner thoughts, enabling them to make sharp judgments and decisions. These people might be quiet, but when they do speak, it's at crucial moments and their words carry weight. Interacting with them can be challenging if you lack strong communication skills. According to related statistics, nearly 70% of successful people worldwide are introverts, like the genius physicist Einstein and the stock market guru Warren Buffett. A more typical example is Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple. Aside from work, he enjoyed reading, watching movies, and meditating. Steve Jobs wrote in his autobiography that he was an introvert, had few friends, no fixed partners, and rarely kept in touch with his family. But if you watch Apple product launches, you'll see that his ability to express himself is smooth and precise. From this, we can infer that quiet people don't lack the ability to communicate. They just don't prefer meaningless small talk. Many extroverts pride themselves on their gift of gab, easily making friends with almost anyone. But often, we find that talkative people tend to be less stable and have less inner resilience than quiet people. British psychologist Hans Eysenck once spoke about the low arousal theory, suggesting that quiet people have a better ability to recognize and filter information than talkative people. They spend their time maintaining deep relationships and exploring and nurturing emotions with important people, engaging deeply with knowledgeable individuals to research issues further. This also implies that quiet people might not talk to you because they don't find anything worth engaging with in you, so they choose to stay silent. It may sound harsh, but the truth is, most quiet people adjust their personalities according to different situations. Chinese comedian Guo Degong once said in an interview, "On stage and off stage, I am 2 completely different people. Off stage, I am more introverted, dislike chatting with others, don't enjoy eating and singing, and even feel uncomfortable sitting at the same table with strangers." Quiet people spend a lot of time exploring their inner selves, so when they make decisions, they listen to their inner voice and act to maximize their benefits. In social interactions, they are often as silent as gold, not because they don't want to talk, but because they are waiting for the right moment, gauging others' intentions and making it hard for others to read them. So, whenever they do speak, their words hit the mark. According to a 2018 psychological study by Yale University, introversion is positively correlated with emotional intelligence, EQ. Simply put, the more introverted a person is, the higher their emotional intelligence and the better they are at understanding others' psychology.
If you like this video, please comment 1, and if you don't, comment 2. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time.
3. Congratulations to quiet people for 3 reasons. They excel in their work and earn everyone's respect. Quiet individuals often get labeled as dull, introverted, and unapproachable. However, this is a misconception that many people have about them. Why does this prejudice exist? In society, extroverted and sociable people tend to be more likable compared to introverts. Extroverts are outgoing and often express themselves through words. However, from a psychological perspective, introverts have their own unique strengths. 1. Quiet people. Make fewer mistakes. In psychology, there's a famous story about Mark Twain. One time, he was moved by a pastor's speech in church and decided to donate money. But as the speech dragged on, Twain grew increasingly impatient. He went from wanting to donate generously to giving only a small amount, and finally to not donating at all. This is known as the over-justification effect in psychology. It refers to the impatience that arises when people are overstimulated. Therefore, some people believe that the more one talks, the more mistakes they are likely to make. Many people are confident in their humorous and valuable words. Initially, others might agree with them, but as these individuals continue to speak, others may become impatient and annoyed. So congratulations to those who speak less. When they listen to others, they might just say, "I understand how you feel," which makes others feel warm and cared for. Or when someone expresses an opinion, their timely praise or recognition can enhance the experience like icing on a cake. Many think that being talkative is a skill, but they don't realize that being quiet is also a crucial skill. Knowing what to say and when to say it is a form of politeness and emotional intelligence. Especially when two people are not yet familiar with each other, speaking less can be a social advantage. 2. Quiet people. Don't reveal their dullness. In the workplace, we often encounter colleagues who are cheerful and love to chat. Initially, people find their stories interesting, but over time, they become repetitive and boring, yet these colleagues continue to chatter without realizing the issue. Truly significant individuals are like the vast ocean. No matter who they talk to or what the topic is, they always have fresh insights. Reaching this level is challenging, and what they usually express is limited knowledge. In such cases, we should learn to listen to those who are genuinely knowledgeable. Instead of talking non-stop just to express inner thoughts, which neither garners respect nor admiration, it can reveal one's weaknesses and dullness. As Laozi famously said, "Better to remain silent than to speak too much." You must learn to get to the point and not pretend to understand things that you don't fully grasp. The more you talk, the more you expose your shortcomings. While talking less, don't forget to improve yourself and keep learning. 3. Quiet people. Often do more. Psychological research has found that extroverted individuals tend to communicate better and blend in more easily. They gain energy through social interactions. On the other hand, introverts prefer to focus on themselves, and social interaction drains their energy. We often notice that those with real power don't talk much. Spending too much time socializing can make a person feel empty and gradually lose their sense of self. Interaction and conversation require time, and the more you talk, the less you do. Additionally, some people love to make promises but fail to follow through. Even if they don't intend to deceive, it leaves a bad impression. They might think that making promises earns people's affection, but over time, it has the opposite effect, making others uncomfortable. From a psychological standpoint, making promises easily raises others' expectations. If you don't keep your promises, it leads to disappointment. Conversely, unexpected actions without prior promises can pleasantly surprise others. This is human nature. So, in interactions with others, learn to be more reserved. Being quiet is not due to social fear, but knowing how to communicate moderately. Such individuals are often well-liked and highly regarded. 4. Right speech. The power of proper words in building happiness. Think about how many times you've told yourself, "I wish I hadn't said that," or, "From their expression, I can tell my words hurt them." Careless or excessive words bring us endless troubles. When we lie, we get caught. Speaking ill of others causes them problems. Speaking thoughtlessly offends customers or friends. Idle chatter wastes time and achieves nothing. Negative speech habits are nothing new. The Buddha emphasized the importance of cultivating right speech for personal and spiritual development so much that he made it a distinct practice within the Noble Eightfold Path, the path to happiness. The Buddha taught that right speech has 4 characteristics. They are truthful, they uplift others, they are not harmful or bitter, but bring joy, and they are gentle, not harsh or coarse. The Buddha taught that those who consistently speak gently and kindly will quickly earn trust and respect. Such people will enjoy a calm and peaceful mind and be able to communicate with others in a friendly manner. For example, have you noticed that people often speak to you in the same manner they hear you speak? If we exaggerate or lie often, others will find it easy to lie back to us. If we habitually speak sarcastically, others will find it easy to respond rudely. Conversely, if we speak truthfully, our words will be more trusted. If we are discreet, others are less likely to speak ill of us. If our words are always kind and gentle, others will feel ashamed to use harsh or coarse language in our presence. Clearly, words create an environment that can either nurture happiness or destroy it. We know this because our own experiences show us that how we act or think is heavily influenced by the words around us. One of the Buddha's earliest nuns reflected on this in a poetic observation. If you associate with good people, even a fool becomes wise. To become wise, we must not only seek out good companions, but also strive to be a good companion to others. Achieving this requires mindful effort in practicing right speech. A Buddhist folk tale illustrates how words can powerfully influence our actions. A monk in the Buddha's community often attended lavish meals with a group led by the wicked monk Devadatta. Tempted by the delicious food these people offered, the monk spent a lot of time with these bad companions. The Buddha scolded the monk for choosing such friends and warned him of the consequences. To persuade the monk to change his attitude, the Buddha told him a story from a previous life in which the monk had gone astray due to the harmful, coarse words of those around him. The Buddha said that in a past life, the monk was a large elephant owned by a king. The elephant was known for its gentle, calm nature. However, a group of thieves would gather near the elephant's stable each night, discussing their dark plans. They spoke coarsely and encouraged each other to commit murders and other evil deeds. The elephant began to believe that these harsh words were meant to teach it to act similarly. As a result, the previously gentle elephant became aggressive and killed anyone who approached it. The king sent a minister, the future Buddha, to investigate what had corrupted the once gentle elephant. The minister overheard the thieves' wicked conversations and realized how they had influenced the elephant. He advised the king to send learned, wise men known for their gentle speech to converse near the elephant's stable each night. The friendly, kind words soon influenced the elephant, restoring its gentle nature, and it never became aggressive again. Right speech can improve our lives in many ways. Imagine never regretting anything we've said. We would be free from many burdens. Let's delve deeper into the 4 characteristics of right speech and see how they can help us on the path to happiness. 1. Speaking the truth. The first characteristic of right speech is always telling the truth. The Buddha teaches us never to lie for our own benefit, for someone else's benefit, or for any other reason. The Buddha summarized guidelines for truthful speech as follows. When someone is asked to testify, friend, say what you know. If they know, they should say, I know. If they don't know, they should say, I don't know. If they have seen, they should say, I have seen. If they haven't seen, they should say, I haven't seen. They should not intentionally say something false for their own benefit, for someone else's benefit, or for some trivial, worldly benefit. Sometimes we are asked a question where silence implies a falsehood. If our silence reflects a lie, we must speak up. For example, if a police officer investigating a crime asks if anyone saw what happened and everyone stays silent, the officer will conclude that no one witnessed the event. If someone in the crowd did witness it, they have lied by remaining silent. They might feel they have good reasons for not speaking, like fear of retaliation, but their silence is still a lie. We can also lie through body language. Sometimes a shrug or a frown can be misinterpreted as, I don't know, but if you do know, the shrug is a deception. However, there are situations where the truth needs to be kept secret because revealing it would harm others. In such cases, we must wait for the right time to speak the appropriate words to the right person. The Buddha himself often remained silent when his answers could cause someone harm. Once, a man consulted the Buddha about the afterlife. The Buddha sat silently until the man gave up and left. Later, Ananda, his attendant, asked why the Buddha hadn't answered. The Buddha explained that any answer would have caused the man distress. If the Buddha said there was an afterlife, the man would mistakenly believe in an eternal self, leading to suffering. But if the Buddha said there wasn't, the man would think he wouldn't be reborn and would suffer greatly from that belief. To avoid causing the man suffering, the Buddha chose to remain silent. The Buddha set rules for deciding when to speak or remain silent. If he knew something was untrue, false, or unbeneficial, he would not speak it. Such words the Buddha does not speak. If he knew something was true, real, and beneficial, he knew when to use those words. If his words were true, real, beneficial, and timely, the Buddha would speak them, regardless of whether they would be opposed or accepted. With deep compassion and complete attention to others' benefit, the Buddha never spoke merely to please others. We can learn much from his virtue. When I'm about to speak words that don't align with the Buddha's guidelines, I remind myself that if I speak, I gain nothing, and neither does anyone else, nor does anyone lose anything from my silence. For example, I might be in a conversation where one person is dominating the talk. I have something to say and feel impatient to speak, but I consider what I want to say and know it is true to past events, true to current facts, and beneficial for the listeners. However, if I speak immediately, I will offend the speaker. It is not the right time, so I remind myself that I gain nothing by speaking out of turn, and no one benefits or loses from my silence. I can say what needs to be said at another time. 2. Words are not weapons. The second quality of right speech is to avoid malicious words, wrong speech. As an old saying goes, the tongue is a boneless weapon stuck between two jaws. When we speak maliciously, our tongues lash out like swords. Such words destroy honor and credibility. Even if what we say about someone is true, if our intent is to harm them, it is malicious. The Buddha defined malicious speech as words that sever friendships between people. Here's an example. Suppose I meet a friend of a friend while traveling. I remember that my friend told me a story about this person months ago. I might not recall the story perfectly, so I embellish it a bit when I repeat it. I make it seem like I'm helping by letting the person know my friend spoke behind their back. The listener reacts angrily. When I return, I tell my friend what the person said, adding more details to make the story interesting. Since this causes discord and breaks a friendship, such words are malicious speech. Sometimes we disguise malicious speech as concern about someone's actions, or we reveal a secret someone trusted us with, believing it's for their own good. For example, Telling a woman that her husband is unfaithful because you don't want her to be the last to know can cause more suffering for everyone involved. When you're about to speak in such a way, ask yourself what your goal is. If it's to seem superior or gain someone's gratitude, your words are selfish and malicious rather than ethical. Public words can also be malicious. Tabloids, online radio shows, chat rooms, and even some reliable media seem to thrive on using words as weapons. For example, sensational news stories are designed to increase readership and advertising revenue. Malicious words bring one person down to elevate another. They make the speaker seem bold, intelligent, or daring without regard for others' rights. Not all malicious words are coarse. Sometimes people use gentle, smooth words with malicious intent. Such disguised words are more dangerous than bluntly evil words because they easily penetrate the listener's mind. In modern language, we call this backhanded compliments. For example, saying to someone, "You were wise to renovate your old house instead of moving to a fancier neighborhood," or "Your gray hair looks great." It gives you a mature look fitting for your career. Right speech means not only minding our words and tone, but ensuring our words reflect compassion and care for others, supporting and healing rather than hurting and destroying. 3. Gentle speech. The third type of wrong speech is harsh, coarse language. Insulting, mean-spirited, sarcastic, arrogant, harsh criticism, or severe cursing are all examples of coarse speech. Speech is a powerful tool that can be used for good or bad. The Buddha compared speech to a hammer. Each person is born with a hammer in their mouth. The fool uses coarse words, harming themselves and others with that hammer. We might think of a hammer as a tool to chop wood for a fire. But in the Buddha's time, a hammer was a sharp, dangerous tool. It was used to split long logs, carve and chisel wood precisely. It could cut down tall trees. And it was a dangerous weapon, a formidable means of causing injury or killing. It is comparable to a computer in modern times. Computers can be used for many useful things, communicating across continents, creating music, or launching rockets to Mars. But they are also used for destructive purposes. People use computers to launch missiles and control other weapons in wars. Just as we must choose how to use a hammer or computer, we must choose how to use our words. Do we use them to enlighten, comfort, and encourage others? Or do we use them to bring them down and harm ourselves in the process? Sarcasm, malicious gossip, lies, or coarse jokes not only offend others but also make us seem foolish, unable to use the hammer in our mouths without injuring ourselves. We are also foolish if we think harsh, coarse language can achieve anything positive. We might feel satisfied when we put someone in their place, showing them who's boss, but that is not a good victory. As the Buddha taught, the fool thinks they have won with harsh, coarse words, but knowing how to restrain oneself, that alone is victory. Using harsh, offensive words to silence someone is easy. A wise opponent often withdraws from such encounters, responding with cold silence. We might pat ourselves on the back and think, "I really taught them a lesson. They shut up when I spoke." But this external victory is shallow. Our opponent might have vowed never to communicate with us again, or to secretly take revenge at some future time. The ill will and suffering we create for others will rebound on us when we least expect it. It's not hard to find examples of the negative impact of harsh speech. For instance, you might have a highly skilled, technically brilliant colleague, but their abrasive, rude, arrogant, mean, and condescending manner alienates everyone. No matter how good their work is, no one can stand them, and they have no chance for advancement. A sadder example is the impact of harsh, coarse speech on children. We've all heard parents say to their kids, "You're a disgrace. You can't do anything right. You'll never amount to anything. We might remember being spoken to like that when we were young. Verbal abuse can leave unhealable scars in a child's soul. Of course, sometimes parents must use firm words to keep their children from doing dangerous things like playing with matches or running into the street. But those firm words come from love and concern, not a desire to humiliate or intimidate. Even animals are affected by harsh words. My nephew has an Alaskan Malamute named Taurus. Taurus is very curious about the animals he sees on TV. He even tries to bite them. Because he's so big, when Taurus is engrossed in what he sees on the screen, he blocks the view of anyone sitting behind him. One day, someone shouted at him to move out of the way. The voice was angry and stern. Taurus responded by retreating to the basement. He stayed there for a week, refusing to come out even to eat. Occasionally, he would run outside for necessary activities and then quickly return to the basement. Finally, the family had to coax him out with gentle, kind words before Taurus rejoined them. My nephew's family's gentle words helped them regain the trust of their beloved dog. Kind words, as the Buddha taught, are always appropriate and welcome. Speak kind words, words that people are happy to hear, words that have no malice towards anyone. Always speak with loving kindness to others. Saying to someone, "I really appreciate what you did. You handled that situation wonderfully," or "It's great to see you," warms the heart of both the speaker and the listener. Gentle words are like honey on the lips. Expressing admiration or gratitude makes everyone feel happier. They help us create and maintain friendships because everyone wants to be around someone whose gentle, kind words make them feel relaxed and at ease. Gentle, kind words help children grow up with a sense of self-worth. Such words also help us appreciate and learn the Buddha's teachings. If we speak kind, wise words, the happiness we can spread to those around us becomes limitless. But be careful. Gentle, kind words must be sincere and come from a noble purpose. Speaking sweetly while thinking or doing the opposite is deceitful and not a virtue. We all know of religious leaders who use kind words to spread fear or solicit money for their organizations. I remember a Sri Lankan man who toured the country preaching against the evils of alcohol. Thanks to his oratory skills, he became famous, powerful, and well-known, attracting large crowds of followers. He led campaigns to close bars, destroy liquor stores, and ban alcohol sales. One hot summer day, while delivering a passionate speech, he hurriedly took off his jacket. A small bottle of alcohol fell from his pocket onto the stage floor. That ended his campaign against alcohol and his political career. Although what he said about the dangers of alcohol was true, once his deceit was revealed, no one wanted to listen to him anymore. 4. Avoid idle chatter. The fourth type of wrong speech is idle chatter, which the Buddha called meaningless or delusional words. Gossip is wrong speech, regardless of whether what we say about someone is true. After all, if 3 people recount a story to a fourth person, each version is different. Human nature tends to believe whatever we hear first, even if it only reflects one person's viewpoint. Although gossip often contains some truth, it is usually exaggerated and embellished. Gossip leads to arguments and misunderstandings. It can destroy relationships. In severe cases, it can result in lawsuits for defamation or slander. In the Buddha's time, gossip could even overthrow a confederacy. The Lichavi people were a proud, independent tribe, one of the most powerful and significant members of a strong confederation of 8 clans. Their capital was the confederacy's capital. King Ajatasattu, an ambitious ruler and supporter of the wicked monk Devadatta, planned to invade and conquer the Lichavi people. However, he sought the Buddha's advice about his invasion plan. The Buddha said the Lichavi lived harmoniously and advised the king, You cannot conquer them while they are united and harmonious. The king postponed the invasion and pondered the Buddha's words. Later, King Ajatasattu devised a simple but malicious plan. He instructed his prime minister to whisper something into the ear of a Lichavi man. The minister approached a Lichavi and secretly said, "There is rice in the fields." It was a meaningless, trivial statement. Everyone knew rice could be found in the fields. But seeing the whisper, another Lichavi began to wonder what the prime minister had said to his friend. So he asked, and the first man repeated the statement about rice. Hearing this, the second Lichavi thought, "He's hiding the truth. He doesn't trust me. He made up that foolish statement about rice to deceive me." Filled with suspicion, he went and told another Lichavi that someone had whispered to the prime minister of King Ajatasattu. That person told someone else, and so on, until everyone believed the man was a spy and a secret society had formed within their community. So peace broke down. The Lichavis accused each other, leading to arguments and warfare among the ruling families of the Confederacy. Seeing his enemies divided, King Ajatasattu launched his invasion and easily conquered the Lichavi people. He then continued to conquer the remaining tribes. I don't need to hear such stories to know how dangerous gossip is. My own experience has shown me. It seems that whenever someone tries to do something good for society, someone else feels compelled to oppose their efforts. Perhaps they feel insecure or jealous of the success of others. Spreading rumors is their weapon. They don't need to confront anyone or provide evidence. They just whisper harmful things and rely on others' willingness to join in mindless chatter to achieve their malicious goals. The first time we tried to raise funds to build a meditation center, someone spread rumors about the Bhavana Society. They said I was exploiting donors and planned to use the funds we raised for a shady business venture. Anonymous letters were sent to key people, urging them not to contribute. These rumors were created with malice, but they were spread by people who didn't know the truth. The Buddhist community, initially enthusiastic, became shaky and divided. Fortunately, the opponents of the Bhavana Society's construction couldn't find any real evidence to exaggerate, or they would have completely undermined our efforts. As long as people are willing to believe what others say and mindlessly repeat it, rumors will spread. Once, an American member of the Bhavana Society's board of directors visited Sri Lanka. While there, he joined a group of meditators from various countries, discussing meditation centers worldwide. Someone mentioned the Bhavana Society, and a woman declared, "Oh, that's the center where they have tea parties every evening." When our board member protested, she insisted she was telling the truth. Finally, he said, "I have known Bhante Gunaratana since 1971, and I have been involved in the Bhavana Society since its inception. I know for a fact there are no tea parties there." If someone knowledgeable hadn't been present, no one could have refuted the woman's claim. Others might have added more untruths, causing further harm. That's how rumors are created and can damage individuals and organizations. If we hear someone spreading harmful rumors, we have two choices: either end the conversation or disapprove of the false rumor, as our board member did. But the Buddha's advice to refrain from gossip also has a deeper, more significant aspect. Many of us spend time talking about what we ate days or months ago, or recalling details of a silly movie or TV show we watched. We even waste time telling jokes. Such conversations do nothing to develop our wisdom. When we think about how short life is and how easily it can be lost to accidents or illness, do we really want to waste precious time on idle chatter? Of course, some conversations might seem unimportant or trivial, but serve a significant purpose. Sometimes we need to use gentle, meaningless words to comfort someone or bond with our children. Any mindful speech born of love and compassion is an acceptable part of right speech. The way to judge is to pause and ask ourselves before speaking, Is what I'm about to say true? Is it kind? Is it beneficial? Will it harm anyone? Is this the right time to say it? By mindfully practicing right speech, we can create a harmonious environment that nurtures happiness for ourselves and those around us. If you find these stories inspiring and they motivate you to take action, please comment 9. If not, comment 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time. 5. 12. Unspoken social rules. They're essential even if no one talks about them. Whether it's in work, relationships, or life, understanding these 12 principles can help you advance and unlock wonderful opportunities. 1. Interpersonal relationships. Your kindness and your flaws. Your kindness to others is like candy. Once consumed, it's gone. But your flaws are like scars. They remain long after you part ways. This is human nature. When we are young, we simply believe that giving genuine kindness will earn us deserving affection. It's only after we're bruised that we realize in adult relationships, genuine kindness doesn't always earn gratitude. Being too generous without conditions can end up hurting yourself. In life, never be overly kind to anyone. Few truly want the best for you. Most people secretly hope to see you fail rather than succeed. When you're just like everyone else, you have many friends. As you advance, the number of friends will decrease. Your success unintentionally causes pain for others. The more you achieve, the more annoyed they become with you. Apologizing for truth. As you grow older, you'll realize that sometimes you need to apologize for revealing the truth. Knowing when to speak and when to stay silent is crucial for a smooth life. In adult life, not all truths can be spoken openly. Sometimes a single statement can unintentionally hurt someone's pride. Thoughtless remarks can make a harmonious atmosphere awkward. In the adult world, some words are better left unsaid. This isn't hypocrisy, it's emotional intelligence. Don't try to change others. Never attempt to change anyone, whether it's your parents or spouse. In the end, you'll find that even a lifetime isn't enough to change anyone. Often, people suffer because they place too high expectations on others. We strive to shape each other into ideals, but end up achieving nothing. Remember, everyone is an independent individual with habits and personalities hard to change. Instead of pointing fingers at others' lives, focus on changing yourself first. 2. Work life. Don't quit hastily. Don't think about quitting just because things aren't going well. The world will keep spinning without you, but your life might take a turn without a job. Everyone has tough days at work. It could be dealing with a difficult client, a grumpy boss, or angry colleagues. Instead of constantly complaining and thinking about quitting, growing up means doing your job well. Workplaces value results. Workplaces don't value tears, they value results. Even if you work hard, stay late every day, and show up with red eyes in the morning, if you don't achieve results, it means nothing. People care about your capabilities and the outcomes you produce. If you can't deliver, don't blame your boss for being unfair. Be thankful you haven't been fired. Control your emotions. Don't let your emotions dictate your actions if you can't handle the consequences. The most dangerous people at work are those with little competence and a hot temper. A few criticisms from the boss can break their defenses, and well-meaning advice from colleagues can send them into a tailspin. Emotional stability is a significant asset for adults. No perfect workplace. Every company has flaws, so don't blindly think other companies are better. We often admire others' situations from our own perspective. You might have a high salary but envy someone else's comfort. You might work freely but envy others' benefits. We always feel our company is dull while others' jobs are smooth. But others' glory might just be the surface. You don't see the sweat behind it. Instead of envying others, focus on doing your job well. 3. Life lessons. Crucial steps in life. Life's path is long, but a few steps are crucial. In everyone's life, there are many crossroads. Choosing your major, deciding on a career, choosing a life partner. Life doesn't have a one-size-fits-all answer. You can only explore it step by step. What truly protects you are your choices, and what can hurt you are also your choices. Pleasures and pain. What brings you joy now may cause suffering later, and what causes suffering now may lead to success later. Low-level pleasures like short videos and online games provide immediate gratification, but drag your life down in the long run. Conversely, studying is tough, working hard is tough, but if you persist, your fate will quietly change. There's no easy success. Every transformation comes at a painful cost. Heroism in loving life. True heroism is loving life even after seeing its harsh realities. Romain Rolland said, "There is only one heroism in the world, to see the world as it is and to love it." The greatest meaning of life is to survive the difficulties, withstand life's critical blows, and continuously surpass yourself in hardships. After enduring storms, you will undoubtedly welcome a brighter tomorrow. 6. 10 habits that reveal you're more introverted than you think. Having these habits shows that you live a more introverted life than you might realize. Do you often feel out of place in a crowd? Do you worry that there's something wrong with you because you enjoy spending time alone and have little interest in socializing? Remember, these behaviors are completely normal for introverts. You might be more introverted than you think. Here are 10 habits of introverts. 1. You're happiest in small groups. When it comes to socializing, you feel happiest when you can have one-on-one conversations or meet with a small group of friends. If someone invites you to a lively party or event, you'll likely find an excuse and suggest a coffee meetup another time. This is the first sign that you might be more introverted than you think. Introverts tend to feel overwhelmed by large groups or big social events. Multiple conversations happening at once, music, lights, the lack of personal space. It all might be too much stimulation. 2. You need alone. Time to recharge after socializing. Do you ever notice that socializing exhausts you? Simply put, introverts need alone time to recharge, process their thoughts and emotions. They might engage in solo activities like reading, hiking, or journaling. 3. You're a deep thinker. Do you often find yourself lost in thought? Do you daydream frequently? Do you like to spend time at the end of each day reflecting on everything that happened and its meaning? This is another sign that you're more introverted than you think. Introverts tend to be more introspective and thoughtful than extroverts. They spend a lot of time pondering their thoughts and ideas, enjoying exploring complex concepts and ideas. 4. You're selective about your friends. Introverts are often picky about who they befriend. You don't see any problem with solitude, and in fact, you prefer it. So, if you're going to spend time with someone, you want it to be meaningful. You won't waste your time and energy on toxic, boring, or shallow people. You feel much happier reading a book or watching a good movie. 5. You have a rich inner world. Do you consider yourself a creative person? Most introverts have a rich inner world. Many of them have talents for writing, painting, and music. Essentially, they need a way to express their emotions, seeking creative outlets. 6. You prefer texting over calling. Do you find yourself hesitating to make phone calls, trying to shift communication to text messages or emails instead? Do you even find yourself sweating and your heart racing when you hear the phone ring? You're not alone. Most introverts feel more comfortable expressing themselves in writing rather than speaking. While extroverts might find it easier and quicker to talk directly and ask questions, introverts would rather wait for a written response. 7. You love reading. Reading is a solitary activity that involves escaping into your imagination. Reading truly brings us comfort, allowing us to reconnect with ourselves and recharge. 8. You avoid malls and similar places. Introverts don't understand why extroverts enjoy going to loud and crowded places to shop and eat. They prefer spending time in quieter, more peaceful environments like coffee shops and parks. 9. You feel at peace in nature. Introverts truly enjoy spending time outdoors. When spending time in nature, we can recharge and reconnect with our inner selves and the earth. When life gets complicated, when feeling overwhelmed or lost, the best thing an introvert can do to refocus is to take a solitary walk in nature. 10. You hate conflicts. Most introverts hate conflict. They prefer to find peaceful solutions rather than engaging in any form of confrontation. For them, conflicts drain a lot of energy and mental resources. 7. 7 signs. You're a master of soft skills. Those who excel in soft skills tend to receive warmth and support wherever they go and in whatever they do. Treat others the way you want to be treated. We all want to feel heard, respected, valued, welcomed, and not judged. 1. You truly know how to listen. Many of us like to think we're good listeners, but the reality often tells a different story. A survey found that 96% of respondents believed they were good listeners, but they typically only absorbed about half of what others said. Listening isn't just about staying silent while someone else talks. It's about effectively absorbing what they're saying and reflecting that back so they feel truly heard. How to improve your listening skills. Fully engage in conversations, avoiding outside distractions. Quiet your inner dialogue and resist the urge to speak while listening. Show you're listening by nodding, maintaining eye contact, subtly mirroring the other person's behavior, and using appropriate facial expressions. Use silence effectively instead of rushing to respond immediately. 2. You're warm and approachable. Research suggests that many naturally warm people are extroverts. However, upon closer examination, warmth stems from how you express yourself and connect with others. This means introverts can also project this impression. It's about a sense of friendliness, openness, and enthusiasm. How to improve this skill? Use open and friendly body language, maintain eye contact, and smile. Address people by their names to show recognition and respect. Treat everyone equally, regardless of status. Build inner confidence. Practice empathy. Be willing to share with others. 3. You're willing to compromise to meet others' needs. You prioritize the needs of others over your own desires 24/7. You understand that viewing yourself as the center of the universe isn't beneficial. Being willing to compromise means considering how others view issues. How to improve this skill? Enhance your listening skills so others feel heard and understood. Develop a higher level of self-awareness to know what you will and won't compromise on. Improve your problem-solving skills to find new solutions to deadlocks. Express gratitude to others. Let go of grudges and don't hold on to resentment. Cultivate a growth mindset and be open to change. 4. You're not afraid of conflict, but navigate it gracefully. Compromise doesn't mean completely avoiding conflict. In fact, conflict is an inevitable part of life. When you try to avoid conflict, you're not addressing the issue. People with good soft skills aren't just liked by everyone. They don't run from or avoid conflict. Instead, they use their skills to approach, navigate, and resolve situations tactfully. How to improve this skill? Separate your emotions from the facts to make wise decisions. Neutralize your language. Strive for solutions rather than seeking to win at all costs. 5. You genuinely care about others. Curiosity is crucial for good soft skills. We tend to like people who show an interest in us. Why? Because we're all seeking connection and want to feel valued and interesting. That's why the key to soft skills is simply trying to get to know someone, understand, and empathize with them. The best way to leverage your curiosity is to ask questions. Studies have shown that asking more questions is a straightforward way to be liked and quickly increase likability. How to improve this skill? Challenge yourself to find out 3 interesting things about someone. Try to find common ground even with those who seem very different from you. Observe details about someone that others might overlook. After asking questions, use follow-up questions to show you genuinely care and are paying attention. 6. You don't easily criticize or jump to conclusions. This doesn't mean you tolerate poor behavior or ignore issues that need addressing. You take time to reflect before giving any feedback or criticism. We all tend to get defensive when we feel attacked or judged. Being more open-minded is genuinely beneficial for you and your relationships. How to improve this skill? Pay attention to your ego. Look for the good in someone even when it's hard. Avoid personalizing others' behaviors. Let go of perfectionism and remember everyone makes mistakes. Take responsibility for your expectations instead of imposing them on others. Think before you speak. 7. You understand how to communicate effectively. Our human skills often hinge on our communication skills. Speaking without thinking can easily lead to misunderstandings. Those with strong skills know how to effectively turn thoughts into words. You understand that it's not just what you say to others, but how you convey it. How to improve this skill? Practice what you want to say or write it down. Pay attention to what your body language is saying. Be clear and concise. Mind your tone of voice. Remember your listening skills. Opt for direct conversations or phone calls to avoid misunderstandings from texts.
If you like this video, please comment 1. And if you don't, comment 2. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time.